Hello, how are you guys? Merry Christmas. And obviously, you know by the title of this video that we're gonna be talking about the best Christmas movies to watch. So we'll get right into it. The first one is Last Holiday, and it stars Queen Latifah and LL Cool J. Upon learning of a terminal illness, a shy woman decides to sell off all her possessions and live it up at a posh Central European hotel. And I think the main reason I like this movie, yes, it's about the holidays, and yes, she lives it up and really does the things that she's been dying to do and saving to do. But I think the biggest lesson learned in this movie is just to live life as much as you can, and even though you may not have the money at the time, you should still take risks and take advantage of moments that present themselves, for things that you really want to do, and don't say, one day or next year. If it's something you can do now, you should try and do it. So that was like the biggest thing. But also I think Queen Latifah did a really good job. So that's my first one. Next up is The Holiday, and it stars Jack Black, Jude Law, Cameron Diaz, and Kate Winslet. Two women troubled with guy problems swap homes in each other's countries, where they each meet a local guy and fall in love. So obviously this is a movie that's based around the holidays, but it's a romance movie, and I find it very enjoyable. Everyone does a good job. I've actually probably seen it more times than I really want to admit, but I highly recommend it. Next up is Elf, and the main actors in it are Will Ferrell, Zooey Deschanel, and James Caan. After discovering he is a human, a man raised as an elf at the North Pole decides to travel to New York City to locate his real father. And some people I know are not a big fan of Will Ferrell, but I happen to really like him, and I think that he absolutely killed it in this role and convinces you that he's an elf and believes he's an elf, and you just kind of forget that he's an actor and this is a movie. He just does a really seamless job at that, and also he's funny, so it's a good laugh, and there is a nice little meaningful story to it, and it is about Christmas, so it's definitely one to see. Next up is The Polar Express, and the main actor in it is Tom Hanks. And yes, I'm only mentioning one main actor in it. There are others, but he actually plays several. So it's an animation movie, and he fills the role of a few parts in it. But basically, on Christmas Eve, a young boy embarks on a magical adventure to the North Pole on the Polar Express, while learning about friendship, bravery, and the spirit of Christmas. So, and that story definitely is one of the reasons why I like this movie. I think also because I've watched it with my dad, a few times, and I know that he really likes it, and that was kind of a family tradition in our family. And yeah, I feel like Tom Hanks really doesn't ever do wrong, and like it's described, it's a very magical movie and helps get you in the mood for the holiday. Next up is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and the main actors in it are Jim Carrey, Taylor Momsen, and Kelly. Kelly is actually the dog, whose real name is Max. But let's see, basically, on the outskirts of Whoville lives a green, revenge-seeking Grinch who plans to ruin Christmas for all of the citizens of the town. One of the main reasons I love this movie is because A, Jim Carrey, and B, Moral of the story, it's just about what is really Christmas all about, and there's a little girl who's realizing that, people are making it about money and gifts when really it should be about friendship and family and spending time with those that you love. So, it's got a good moral to the story, and again, it's magical, so it's very enjoyable and it's a must-watch. Next up is Home Alone, and the main actors in it are Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern. An 8-year-old troublemaker must protect his house from a pair of burglars when he is accidentally left home alone by his family during Christmas vacation. And I feel like this is probably a classic for a lot of, 80s and maybe some 90s kids, but it was just cool, that the kid was managing to live his life alone and take care of himself. And then not only that, he comes up with ingenious ways to ward off these burglars, who are not the smartest in this movie. But anyways, very enjoyable and definitely gotta see it. Now we have The Santa Claus, and the main actors in it are Tim Allen, Judge Reinhold, Wendy Crewson, Eric Lloyd, and David Krumholtz. When a man inadvertently makes Santa fall off his roof on Christmas Eve, he finds himself magically recruited to take his place. And I think the number one reason I liked this movie was because Tim Allen made it funny, and it was an interesting idea that if something happened to Santa, that whoever put the suit on would magically become him. A fun idea to think about around the holidays, so definitely got to see this one if you haven't already. Next up is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and this is the one from 1964, so the main actors in it I don't actually know that much about, and I'm sorry if that offends people, but let's see. It is about a misfit reindeer and his friends who look for a place that will accept them. And this is a classic movie. I actually haven't seen it in a while, but I think the reason I still love it and consider it a classic is the way that it was made. And I don't know, they call it animation, like when you go to look it up, but I think it was more of the claymation, that way of making movies, and I just think that was a super cool idea and best reasons to watch it. So check it out if you haven't seen it already. The last movie is The Rise of the Guardians, and the main actors in it are Chris Pine, Alec Baldwin, Jude Law, Isla Fisher, and Hugh Jackman. This is an animation as well, so the actors that I just mentioned are obviously just the voices. When the evil spirit Pitch launches an assault on Earth, the immortal guardians team up to protect the innocence of children all around the world. So this movie is very magical, and there's, good morals to the story. And it's about several holidays, but it does focus around Christmas. I was surprised at how much I did like it. It came out in 2012, and I saw it maybe, 2 or 3 years ago, and it's a new favorite. So that's why I've added it to this list of must-watch movies for Christmas. Next one that I'm going to talk about is an unpopular opinion, and this is a movie that I don't recommend to watch for the holidays, and I'll reiterate, it's an unpopular opinion, so you may not like that I'm saying to not watch this movie. But then again, I could be saving you from 2 hours of lost time. And that movie is It's a Wonderful Life. I'll give you a second to process that, but yeah, it's 2 hours I wish I didn't waste. And in fact, I think I stopped watching it, but then I knew that I was almost done, so I turned it back on and just finished it, and just was like, it just confirmed that I really didn't need to finish it. But the name of the movie is very deceiving because it's not a wonderful life. And I get that that's the point, and how do you persevere But no, it's so sad. The guy goes through so much, and in the very end, like literally like the last minute, he ends up okay and has an aha movement, has an aha moment, and figures out that he can get through it. But it's literally the last minute of the movie. So you go through the entire 2 hours or however long it is of all of the bad things that happened to him, one after another. And then guess what? Because this happened, then this happened, and then this happened, which were also horrible. So it should not be called It's a Wonderful Life. It should be called It's a Horrible Life. And in the end, you'll figure out how you can get through it. But anyways, just in case you haven't seen it, you may not want to see it. And I'm sorry if you liked it, because I didn't. But that is it. So I hope that you liked this video. Maybe there's some movies that you haven't seen that now you will. And I just did a video on how to get into the holiday mood, and watching movies is one of those ways. I figured it only made sense to do a video about Christmas movies. So take care. I hope you guys are feeling the mood or getting into the mood or whatever it is to make you happy around the holidays. All right, so take care, and until next time.